further ado, I'm going to leave it to the three J's to talk about exactly what Songtrust is and how it can benefit all of the writers and artists here.
Hey, so I guess we could just start by talking a little bit about who we are and what exactly we do. My name is Jeremy, and I work at Songtrust and also at Downtown Music Publishing. I've been working in the industry about 10 years, 11 years. I was at ASCAP for many years and 4 years at Downtown, and now with Songtrust. I work with our writers, and it was about 2 years ago where we came up with this idea for Songtrust, which I can go into a little bit later after the other guys go through their little intro.
Sure. My name is James Aviaz. I'm the marketing manager for Songtrust. I started with the business about 6 months ago. Since starting, we've done a full relaunch of the website. It's been a lot of work that we've done after conversations with songwriters and with business managers, also with different record labels, to try and make the product a little bit easy to understand. For us, it's a really exciting opportunity to be here, talk to you guys, and really explain what we do, but also learn more about what's important to you from a publishing sense.
I'm Joe Conyers. I'm Songtrust's product manager. I came on last June, hired this great man and a bunch of other folks to build up the team and make sure we're building the best thing for you guys, which is songwriters and publishers, folks that are out there really doing great work.
So it was about 2 years ago when this idea of Songtrust first started kicking around the office, and based on a few principles, and I'd say one of the major ones is not a lot of independent songwriters even understand publishing, and they think that they can join ASCAP or BMI, and that means they're done. They've done everything they can with publishing, and that's not the case. ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC do a great job of collecting performance royalties, which generally come from radio and TV performances. Publishing company collects all of your royalties: mechanicals, sync, digital, the money from ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. There's a whole bunch of revenue streams that come in that people who join ASCAP or BMI and CSAC strictly, aren't going to be open to. So nowadays, with independent artists and songwriters getting their music out there more through the web and taking advantage of all the different opportunities that do-it-yourself artists can do now, there's more royalties out there for them, and they're not even aware of it. And there's no way for them to get it unless they entered into a publishing deal. Now, how's an unknown independent songwriter going to enter into a publishing deal? They're not. Usually, you have something going on, there's some pipeline money, you've got a big sync, you've got a radio smash, and then all the publishers come around and they want to offer you $300,000 and want to own your songs, essentially. That's your publishing deal. For that $300,000, they're going to collect all your money so they can make back that $300,000 and then make money going forward. So you're an independent artist and you have a song that's on the internet right now, and maybe it's being streamed on Spotify or RDO or maybe on YouTube. Maybe it's getting some plays on college radio. How do you collect that money? You don't. Well, that idea essentially is why Songtrust was developed. So we just knew that there was a lot more of these folks out there doing it on their own and getting their music onto these sites and whatnot, and not doing it right, and there's money out there for them to collect. Essentially, without going too deep into this, if that money doesn't get collected, it winds up in a black box, and after a certain amount of time, that black box gets paid out to the market shareholders. So all these different collection agencies in this country, whether it's ASCAP, or if it's Harry Fox, or if it's Music Reports, they collect money for songs that are generating money. If no one claims them, they sit in a box, and maybe after a certain amount of time, no one claims it, that goes to the market shareholders, usually the biggest songwriters and publishers in the business. So if you come around and after 10 years, you're like, oh, you know what, that song did get some plays back in the day, let me go and collect that. You're gonna go there and they're gonna say, sorry, we have nothing for you.
And
So,
they gave it to Jay-Z.
that's always the joke. It always goes to Jay-Z or Beyonce or whoever the big market shareholder is. And that's great. Those guys are doing a great job of writing huge songs, but if you had $50 out there in publishing money, that should be yours. You earned it, and it's your money for your songs. Who cares what it is exactly? Maybe it's $15, maybe it's $500, maybe it's $25,000. It's yours to collect, and with Songtrust we enable that. So essentially, Songtrust was built off of a lot of what Downtown Music Publishing does, which is a traditional boutique publishing company. We have writers who are writing songs for Katy Perry and Britney Spears, and we have bands who are getting played on pop radio, and we collect their royalties, not just in the US, but also globally. So we kind of took a little bit of what we built with that and decided that this website was going to exist called Songtrust, where anybody can come and join. You pay a flat fee up front, and we'll collect your royalties. To me, working with songwriters all these years at Downtown and at ASCAP, the coolest principles of what we do is it's just the upfront fee, so we don't take any back end. So if we collect $50 for you, we're not going to take 10% of anything that comes in. You pay an upfront fee. Any money that we collect from you from anywhere goes to you at 100%. Another cool item to me is that you can leave at any time. So if you're a band that's just starting out and you hear about publishing and you're not sure what to do, so you come to Songtrust to get your songs registered everywhere. We'll take care of that for you. Next thing you know, you're out there touring and you get a big song on a commercial, and U2 asks you to come and open for them, and then Universal wants to offer you $150,000, and you're like, wait, I did a publishing deal already with this company called Songtrust. I can't do it. No, you can leave at any time and take your songs with you and go to take that $300,000 advance from Universal or whatever it was. So there's no term to the deal. The other cool thing is that you take your songs at 100% with you. So sometimes, I don't know if you guys ever heard of some of these licensing companies that they'll say, hey, give us your songs and we'll get you in a commercial, or we'll get your songs in TV. And then they do that, and then they own a part of your song. Well, we never own anything. You take your songs with you if you decide to leave. You're basically parking your songs in our system to see if there's any money out there for you. And you can leave at any point. If there isn't any money out there for you, at least you can rest assured that your songs are being registered and you essentially have a publisher. We don't do all of the things that a regular publishing company does. There's not a lot of setting up sessions or necessarily pitching songs directly from Songtrust, even though we have partnered up with some licensing companies to help get your songs out there. This is more about making sure your songs are registered everywhere and seeing if there's any money out there. If you're just starting out and you're not sure about any of this, we can help you get into ASCAP and BMI. We'll do that as part of the service. Then make sure that the songs are registered properly there. And then see if there's anything out there as far as money. So to me, it's just, like I said, some of the bigger points are, that we don't take any of the back end. You can leave at any time, and you don't own your songs outright forever. Some of our bands come to us for a little while and maybe moving on to bigger things. Some of them are just going to stay here because it is a better deal. If you go out there and sign a publishing deal with someone, you're looking at giving up a piece of your song, depending on the deal. There's a few different types of publishing deals. There's always going to be a term, so you're going to be locked in with whoever you do a traditional publishing deal with, usually 3-5 years on an admin deal. So that basically says you're exclusively letting these people look after your songs for 3 to 5 years. Going on into co-publishing, that's when people start to take a piece of your song. Own it, and also taking any money that comes in for their collection. So, this is, you're paying an upfront fee, either it's $25 or $50, and any money that we do get for you is going to you at 100%. So, Even to join BMI or ASCAP, you have to pay to join there. So it really is a great deal, and more than anything, writer friendly.
Yeah, and I also think it's worth mentioning that aside from the points Jeremy raises, you know, and Joe can speak on this also, like from a technological standpoint, you know, for an independent songwriter, what we've built is essentially this really seamless and easy piece of software. It gives you the opportunity to use our dashboard, register a song once, and from there we go out and tell all the collection agencies. You know, so you guys can focus on writing songs instead of having to do paperwork, worrying about how to fill out forms in triplicate and try to speak to the right people and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to make everything as simple as possible, user-friendly, and make sure that you don't have to go fight all these different agencies and not be sure. We're going to go out there, we're going to do it at the highest industry standard that you know you're not going to be able to access until you really have a real publishing deal. So.
Right, everything I explained, you couldn't even do all this on your own. You could attempt to. You could try to, hire a lawyer, and that's going to cost you way more than $50. So that's one way of doing it. The other ways are, you can join ASCAP on your own. You can register your songs there. They're just going to collect your royalties for radio and TV, like I said, for the most part. You could try to collect your mechanicals, which is money that's owed to you for any record sales, by going directly to a record label. But you're not going to be able to collect all of your digital. So money that's coming in from sites like Spotify, that's being paid through Harry Fox. And Harry Fox is mostly known for collecting on mechanicals, but with the industry shifting as much as it has, Harry Fox has moved a lot into the digital space, and they're now doing all of the collections for Spotify and for YouTube. And then there's another company called Music Reports, and they're doing the same thing with the RDO site. And you can't just join Harry Fox. They don't just accept independent songwriters the same way that ASCAP and BMI accept independent songwriters. Harry Fox is generally going to look for a songwriter that's earning a certain amount of money, which is going to be in the six figures most likely, and with a catalog that's in the hundreds as far as songs. They don't want to deal with the independent songwriter who maybe earns, $50 a year and has 25 songs. They just don't have the time or bandwidth to deal with all those folks. So we've partnered up with Harry Fox, and by joining Songtrust, we get our songwriters into Harry Fox the same way that a traditional publishing company registers their songs with all the other collection agencies. Songtrust is doing the same thing. I know this is a lot that I'm saying here, and I'm sure that a lot of you are like, what on earth is he talking about? So I think, why don't I just try to get an idea of what this room is, and how many folks here are songwriters? Almost everyone. And how many folks are already affiliated with a PRO? ASCAP, BMI. Okay, so, and with that, how many of you actually took the next step and registered your songs with the PRO? Okay, so you guys are actually on it. I mean, when I worked there at ASCAP, I would bring bands on to join ASCAP because, there's competition in the US as far as PROs go. There's 3, so there's people out there trying to get the newest and hottest songwriters to join their PRO. So I was bringing on a lot of bands, and I'd say, okay, great, you're in the system, now make sure you register your songs. And they would be like, okay, yeah, we'll do that soon. And it's the least interesting thing that a band wants to worry about is registering their songs at ASCAP. So, next thing you know, this band's on tour, and they wind up getting a performance on Letterman, and I just go ahead and look on, the ASCAP database, and I see they still haven't registered the song. So I send an email, hey guys, register your song, you played on Letterman last night, it was great, and you're gonna get paid some royalties now for being on Letterman. So please make sure you do that. Like, we can't do it for you. I don't know what your song splits are. Like, when you get a chance, sit down on the computer and register your songs. So basically, that turned into days, into weeks, into months. They never did it. And finally, 9 months later or so, the guys finally get around to it. Like, oh, okay, now we're gonna sit down and figure this all out. And I'm like, I first reached out to you about this like a year and a half or so ago. Like, we're not going to be able to get you all the money that was earned. The show may have been repeated, so we'll get you some. But this is something that needs to get done much earlier, and obviously it's not the sexiest part of the industry, but bands and writers who don't understand all this stuff need to know about it and need to know why they need to do this, and that there is money out there. And, by coming to Songtrust, we act as a publisher in that we make sure we have your song splits. So you can't just join and then we forget about you. We have folks who are making sure that once you join, and hey, you have to make sure you give us your songs so we can register them. Otherwise, you're paying for a service that we can't provide you right now. So that emphasis is a big part of making sure that we get all the information.
Yeah, I just want to clarify our plans. We have a solo songwriter plan for $50, and then we have a band plan, so you can add all your band members in one plan for $100 a year. And I'd love to open up the floor to questions, I think. Do we have another mic?
Well, I'll yell.
All right.
I'm a member of Songtrust already, so I kind of know what we kind of do.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
I have a question about what he's talking about, the registering the songs. When I joined, I thought you guys would help me with that, because that's one of the things I don't get around to doing very well.
Okay.
But you don't do that. Is there a legal reason why you can't register our songs?
We can't read your mind. I mean, so as long as you put the songs in there.
Just give you a title and say I'm ASCAP, and you guys can register.
So all you have to do is just input the song in, and you put in the split information. So you're the songwriter of that song. You'd say I wrote 100% of that song, and then we will go send that to all the different agencies. If you don't give us that bare minimum information, we can't then go out and do it because...
So you will register, because I have a hassle going on my ASCAP site, so I don't want to have to
Well,
register.
this is a one-stop shop, is Songtrust. It's your one-stop registration spot. So you don't have to go to, I mean, you don't have to hate ASCAP. I mean, this
Well,
is,
but I did.
yeah, and it can be complicated, and we try to make it as simple for our writers to get their information, and then we ingest all that, and then we spit it out to the world, essentially.
Okay, so you can register if I just give you the song.
That's right.
You give us your songs and your splits in a very...
Yeah, you never have to go back to the song registration part of ASCAP again. You should go back to ASCAP and interact with their, the writer relations team and interact with them. But you just, whenever you want to register a new song, you just go to Songtrust.
Good, thank you.
I just want to, go back to something. As songwriters, when you write a song, the first thing you need to do after the song has been completed is figure out the splits. If you've written with someone else, see what that is. It could be 50-50, 60-40, whatever it is. Make sure everyone agrees on that. The next step is registering your songs. If you haven't already joined the PRO, that would be the step beforehand. But assuming that you've already, or have joined a PRO, the next step is registering your songs. So by coming to Songtrust, we'll make sure that that's done everywhere and correctly. So, sometimes when I was at ASCAP, songwriters register songs and they just register 65%. Well, that doesn't get done. A song is 100%. If you only wrote 65% of it, where's the rest? So we won't accept it if it doesn't add up to 100. We'll send an email to you. It won't be a computer-generated email. Someone from our team's going to say, hey, Bob, it doesn't work with the 65%. If you wrote with someone, make sure that you give us all the splits. And that's something that as songwriters you all need to figure out anyway, away from all of this publishing talk. As soon as you write a song, the next step is making sure that you figure out your splits, registering the songs, and then then maybe finding ways to get it out there in the world, whether it's throwing it up on your Tumblr or blog or wherever you put your music. Before you run and say, listen to my music, make sure your splits are sorted and that your songs are registered.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey there.
I
I know what it was. I
Okay.
If you have a song with you guys and one of these music libraries wants to take it and they do like
Retitling?
non-exclusive things, retitling, would you still be able to do that sort of thing?
Definitely.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can enter into as many non-exclusive agreements outside of Songtrust as you want.
Okay.
And if you really want to go to one of those retitling places, that's up to you. We'll just register it as we wouldn't publish that song, basically.
But at all?
Well, the person that you did the deal with is actually the one who's going to handle that registration.
That single
Yeah,
use.
so for that retitled song, that person that you did the license deal with, they now are the people who are in charge of collecting and syncing that and doing whatever they do because they've retitled it.
Okay.
And that's in their interest to make sure that's all handled. The original song that you wrote, whatever it was called, that would be with Songtrust, and that's for us to collect on and do what we do with.
And you don't do any plugging?
No, well, there is, like, we have partnered up with some folks because we're based in the downtown office. We partnered up with the downtown music publishing sync team where they're pitching some of our stuff. We do send out briefs every once in a while to our folks, maybe quarterly, saying, you know, here's 4 show briefs that are looking for songs. And our writers will respond saying, oh, I have something for this. We'll take a look because we have the music. You have to upload your music into the site so we have your music. It's a very simple process also. And then if something works and downtown decides to pitch it, they'll take 20% for papering and procuring that license, which is very fair in the industry as opposed to some of these people taking 50 or 40%. They're just going to take 20% of the upfront license, and then the remaining 80% goes to you at 100%. And then any money that's earned from the performance is paid to you at 100%. So downtown for just for papering and procuring the license, they'll take the 20%.
Like a finder's fee.
Exactly, yeah. Which is everything that we built with this is trying to be as fair to the writer as possible, because the one thing that we can build with folks is trust in publishing, especially with sort of the history of publishing and the dark cloud that maybe circles it, going back to, you know, the guy who sold this song to a publisher for $100, and then that turned into an Elvis Presley song, and the publisher's driving around in a brand new Cadillac, and Songwriters broke. So we try to avoid all of those stigmas and try to make this as transparent and fair as possible.
Right.
When I was getting my water, I was asked a question about Europe. So we are set up throughout the world to collect on your royalties. So if you have something that's going on internationally, we can collect on that. It's actually runs through the same system that Downtown's publishing company runs through. So wherever Katy Perry songs are getting played, and they're getting played everywhere, we're collecting on those. And if your song is getting played anywhere, we're going to collect on that also. So, and whatever we bring in is going to go to you at 100%. So,
but that is our international plan, which is a little bit different, and we try to make sure you're going to get the most use out of it. And so we're really looking for people who actually have stuff going on outside, because we don't want to charge you. It's about $250 a year. We don't want to charge you that much unless we know that you actually have something.
There's no point in trying to collect on something internationally unless you know, okay, I have something going on there. For now, for the most part, it's really about, you know, for emerging songwriters to focus on making sure their stuff is set up here, and if they catch wind that there's some action going on in the territory, then let us know, and we can see if there's anything going on there.
And then we can also see some of that through your PRO, and their reciprocal arrangement just takes a lot longer.
Yeah, what is the mechanism of collecting the information? You've got a song on Pandora, and you've got a song on Spotify, you don't even know.
Yeah, so...
And how do you go, what do you do?
Okay, so all the different agencies have various relationships with all these, these different, I guess you'd call them, some of them are streaming services, non-interactive streaming services. The actual venues like this, radio stations, that's a lot of what HFA, your PRO, music reports are there to do. But now that there are so many different services, it's really hard to get registered and set up at all these different places. We've just made it super easy to do that. And whenever there are new things out there, we're being reactive to them.
So in other words, if I identify my songs with you, you have a way of finding out if the song appears on Spotify?
So not necessarily if it appears, but if there's any money out there that's been earned from a performance of it, we'll collect on that.
How?
We have deals with collection agencies who have deals with Pandora. And you as a songwriter couldn't just strike up a deal with the collection agency. For instance, if your song was on Spotify, I don't know if you know what Spotify is, it's a web. So Spotify, you couldn't just say, Spotify pay me my royalties. Harry Fox is the one who's the buffer. They're dealing with Spotify to make sure that royalties are being paid on streams from that site. We're partnered up with Harry Fox. They pay us. We're a publishing company. We're not a collection agency. So publishing companies collect royalties essentially from all the collection agencies.
So it's as if you're being published by your group.
It's a publishing deal in a very non-traditional way. It's essentially a publishing deal, a traditional publishing deal done in a non-traditional way in that we don't put over a piece of paper in front of you and say, here, sign here, we have 5 years to work your music. We say, go to our website, give us your song information, pay an upfront fee, and we'll collect for you for however long you want.
I like to think it's like doing your taxes for the music business. I think you kind of have to go set up all your stuff everywhere. It's like, why do it yourself when you get an accountant to do it for you?
Pardon me if this is a simple question, but where does actual copywriting fit into this, or is it necessary, or?
Well, we haven't totally sorted out what we want to do with the copyright because it is another part of the industry. It's not necessarily royalty collection. So that's something that you can do on your own. We're figuring it out as we speak. It is necessary if you wanted to make sure that your copyright is in a holdup in a lawsuit in court. But generally, by having your songs registered at ASCAP and these other collections agencies, does add a layer of protection in that it's at least not notarized, but
you have it in the public.
You have it in the public space with a date that it was registered here. But essentially, the only thing that's going to hold up in court is a copyright registration, and eventually we'll get around to doing that. It can be kind of pricey that we're going to have to add another charge on, and we have been around now for almost a year and a half, and we just wanted to get out the messaging on there may be publishing royalties out there for you, and this is why you need to join Songtrust without getting it too complicated moving into copyright registration. It could be $35 a pop for a registration, depending on how many people you work with. If you work with just one person, you could register 10 songs in one registration. If you happen to write songs with multiple people, that can start to get expensive, and we didn't want to bring on that burden in the early stages.
We have a question over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so let's say you're a solo songwriter, and you have shares on like one song with other writers.
Yep.
Do they all have to be part of the same PRO as you? And do they all have to be part of Songtrust?
No, you can, there's plenty of songwriting teams that are very successful that are members of different PROs, and some of them do it like that on purpose to see like which one collects better and which one you get more money out of. And the same thing goes for publishing companies. Plenty of people, songwriting teams, one guy does a deal with Warner, one guy does a deal with Universal. It doesn't make a difference. So if you sign up with Songtrust and your co-writer isn't, then you're going to be the one who's getting collected on, your co-writer isn't.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to input all the different splits and all the writers for that individual song, per song. Gotcha. There's a couple back there.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on the revenue stream.
Sorry, can you speak up?
I'm a little confused on the revenue stream. You're going to charge $50 a year right, for a songwriter to join, and we get all these services for you guys tracking and grabbing the royalties that might be out there for performances or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you get paid?
So we are a technology company at our home. James and I actually both come from technology backgrounds and have switched into this. We're making it automated completely, and we really try to remove all the kind of the heavy lifting that traditional publishing companies do. There are a lot of traditional publishing companies that still fax things. They still send giant reams of papers overnight from Japan to do things. We're very much a technology company that is optimizing things and making things just 21st century. If you will.
The other thing is, traditional publishing companies have teams that are geared towards, pitching music, setting up sessions and co-writes. This is essentially your administration site. So
you don't take any part of the publishers.
Any part of the publisher split? No, we don't take anything. Anything that we collect for you is paid out to you at 100%. We don't take any back end.
It sounds great. Don't get me wrong. I'm like almost ready to spend my $50.
Sure.
But I mean, ultimately, this is a great thing, right? So you guys would want to make money.
Yeah, well, you know, if all of you join, we'll make money.
Is there a model in place where you would be looking for
Well, the model is that this is something that's open up to the public.
advertising?
You know, this is open up to the public. A traditional publishing company is a very calculated move when they decide to bring someone on. They think there's an investment there, that they're going to make money off this songwriter, and they throw a giant chunk of change at them to do that. And then it's their job to really work the music as hard as they can to make some money off of it. For us, it's less about doing all that and just about making sure that we're able to collect money for our clients and that anyone can join. So it's the door is open. If you're a songwriter, there's people who are joining Songtrust who we may never meet. They're bedroom producers, maybe in Milwaukee, that will.
Jeremy, what I'm saying is down the road. I understand the more people you join, the more $50 you get.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, it's just $50. So if you have, are you looking at an advertising or a corporate sponsorship model to help support it in the future?
No, there would never be any advertisements on our website.
Not advertising. I think there's certainly an opportunity for us to look at a version of the product that works specifically for lawyers, managers, the sorts of people who need to manage multiple artists at the one time. That could be at a different pricing structure, but really for now, we would love as many people
That would
who like
obviously be
something.
way different than the $50 a pop.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the level of service would be different. There may be different things we can do with.
So you can learn off of us.
Well, not at all.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, look.
There are a lot of songwriters out there, though. Look at ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. There's a lot. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are members of ASCAP and
One
BMI.
last question.
We should hire her as a business manager.
That could be my future, I'll give you a call.
That's right.
The songs that we would register with you guys would have to be unpublished, is that correct?
Well,
If we had songs that are registered with a publisher, like signed to a publisher.
well, then you have a publishing deal, and they're doing the collecting for you.
However, I will say,
But if that's a single song deal, then we would.
Then you wouldn't give us that song, and you would give us everything else. You can give us one. You can join Songtrust for one song.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not like there's no term. Like I said, there's no specific amount of songs that we need. If you get more out of it, if you give us more songs, because it's still going to be the $50 or $25. But if you have a 5-song deal with another publishing company and you want to give us this other song to see what's out there, then sure.
yeah, we have a bunch of clients that had publishing deals end, and then they basically have some other that are still locked up, and they'll bring in their new songs, and they'll bring in their songs as their other publishing deals end.
Okay.
And so it's really for a lot of people, it's like,
Okay, so we can add that in if there's like a reversion clause.
yeah, definitely, and we can take control of or take administration of that song.
Yeah, one of our clients, well, there's a few, but
Yeah.
one of them was with EMI, and his deal ended, and he decided, I'm not going to go back there. They don't necessarily do anything that I can't do on my own, and why do I want to give them 35% of anything that comes in? I'm just going to park my songs at Songtrust for now. This is a known songwriter that's written some songs with some big people. So for him, it makes total sense. He pays the $50 a year, and everything goes to him at 100%. So.
You've had a deal with a company, let's say like Orchard, collects. Would there be anything that you do outside of what they collect? Because they collect Spotify and Rhapsody, and every time somebody puts a new song, any music or whatever. Is it really any different?
Well, the Orchard is a digital distribution company. So whatever they're paying you on is part of your album sales that they're uploading. It's not publishing royalties. This is strictly publishing royalties, and for publishing on an album sale, it's 9 cents for every song.
Right.
So that money Orchard is not collecting on.
So collecting what BMI would collect.
Well, BMI is strictly radio and TV.
They do live events.
Well, they do that on performance for the most part. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you upload your concerts onto the BMI live site, they will pay you for your gigs. Generally speaking, most of the money that BMI is paying out is radio and TV royalties for when it's aired on TV.
But you're probably owning a can.
Well, yeah, you're good with it. A lot of folks aren't, and that BMI Live is now maybe a year old, not even, and I mean it's great. It's really it's awesome. And ASCAP is also paying out on live gigs through their ASCAP Plus Awards, and CSAC does it also. But for the majority of the money, is going to be radio and TV performances.
Sure. The back.
Okay,
You're both off the back.
I just January 1st ended a administration deal, and the statements that I was getting were just an amount. They were not broken out by songs. You guys break it out by song?
Yeah, so definitely we'll send you whatever statements we're getting, and we'll send those to you as well, but we're also going to send you a reporting dashboard where you can kind of see, you know, better insight into where they're coming from.
Yeah, because I've gotten stuff on TV and I can't tell if they've gotten fees paid. You know, I can't track it. You know, I can't. And so are those the kind of songs, like some of them are co-administered with another person who got me the cut? If I have my administration, you could just even find out if we got paid for something that's supposed to be on TV like this week.
Definitely.
That sort of thing.
Well, not this week, but you know, whenever he gets the statements in
But I
front.
mean, yeah, but you could track. I could see if it came in.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
We're gonna send you your standard statements, and then we're gonna send you basically a really nice roll up of all of those things.
Great.
I got a couple more questions. Sorry.
You guys are the most energetic.
Anyway, I paid money to join Sound Exchange. Now, how do
Wait, you paid money to join Sound Exchange?
Right, so how
did you manage to pay money to join
I
Sound
don't know,
Exchange?
they told me I should to get my internet radio, because I sing on some stuff.
Are you sure you paid them? Because they're like a arm of, they were born out of a government RAAA like agreement.
Okay, do you work for Sound Exchange?
So we're in the process of, we hope to soon work with Sound Exchange. Right now what we do is we currently send all our songwriters and their artist names over to them and make sure if there is any money, we're trying to tell all our clients that you should go up there immediately and do that. We're in the process of becoming basically a conduit for them so that one day you'll be able to see not only your publishing share but your master side as well in one place. And then again, another way for us to make it really easy for you guys so when you upload one song, it goes everywhere.
So maybe I probably joined or whatever. But
Yeah, they definitely don't charge any money. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say they're very well worth signing up with. It's free.
If anyone's not a member of Sound Exchange and you're a performer and your stuff's on non-interactive streaming, please go sign up tonight.
Another question is you only do publishing, so one of the things that I was curious is are you ever going to, and maybe it's for you because you're marketing, right?
Sure.
The J of marketing. So, are you ever going to work, like I do a lot of covers, so I don't, you know, I still would love somebody to kind of admin my cover licensing and placements and
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think for now we've been very much focused on the publishing side of things.
Are you ever going to extend that to artists?
I mean, as we see opportunities arise, we'll go after them. But right now, we're really focused on making sure we have the best kind of publishing deal that around here. I think there was one more back there, or nothing more. I think unless anyone else has any questions, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah, let me let you know that if you're interested in signing up, please come check out the site at Songtrust.com. We've got a 10% off for your first year. If you come along and use the code NYSC10, I'll get Peter to email you after because I don't want to screw up the code. But please come check it out. You know, if you have any questions, we have a phone number on the site. You can hit us up on email, which is help@songtrust.com. So anytime.
And James and I will be around here for about 10-15 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.